One of the things we love to do here at CJ's is customer spotlights. And while this 2007 Mustang GT California Special is worthy of a spotlight in its own right, the story that goes with the car is even better, and the owner's here to tell us all about it. So we're here with Rob, who's the owner of this 2007 Mustang California Special. Tell us, Rob, what made you buy this particular car?
I bought this. It's because it's a California Special.
Okay.
It's something different than just a regular, GT Premium. And then, with the California Special, it has a history.
Back to the 60s.
Back to the 60s, and then it didn't exist from the 60s until 2007.
So this was the first. Actually, I didn't know that. So this is the first year back from 1968.
Yeah.
You see a bunch of them, but the different modern ones now. But I didn't realize 07 was the first year.
Yep. Well, technically, 07 was the second gen. Considering that it started in 68.
Okay, gotcha.
So 68 to 07, it didn't exist. And then it was reintroduced in 2007.
Nice. Now this car, obviously you've got some work done. So what kind of modifications have you done to the car so far? And you bought it stock, I'm assuming.
And it's still all stock except for a cold air intake.
Okay.
And exhaust.
So just some cosmetic upgrades, the wheels and tires.
Cosmetic, and other than that, it's a stock 4.6 motor.
So obviously, you're a customer of ours, which we appreciate your business, and the car is awesome looking. But the thing about this car is the story. I mean, the reason that you built it. What is it you do with this car? What is your goal with this car?
I like to attend shows with this car. I turned it into a military tribute car, where I have veterans signing the car front to back, if they choose to.
Okay.
It's their choice. I don't make them do anything that they feel uncomfortable with or anything like that. So this is something that I wanted to bring forth to give back to our troops.
Okay, and now with this car, now you told me your goal is to have this thing signed bumper to bumper at some point. So how long have you been doing this thing with the military tribute idea with it?
This all started back 2021, back in April.
So this is recent then?
Yeah, this
okay.
This has only been a
so
little
I've seen
over.
you at a bunch of shows with it. I didn't realize it was that recent.
Yeah, I take this thing and I travel.
You're everywhere.
So I go everywhere with it. Our troops are everywhere, so it's a great thing to bring to an event and share with them. At the end of the day, this is for them. This is about them.
Now tell us about the color. I never saw a California Special with yellow graphics before.
Well, the yellow it represents my father's colors. Which,
Okay.
His colors out of the service were yellow. So this is a little piece of the car represents my daughter. But then the yellow added to it, it represents my father.
So you did the yellow. It was not originally yellow graphics. You did that as a tribute to your father, who was also, you said, military.
Yeah. So this is something that it puts my father and my daughter together.
Okay.
So.
Now, what kind of events are you planning on with this car? Like I said, I can't believe it's only been a year because I've seen you down in Mustang Week, Pigeon Forge. We were just at Ocean City last weekend. You were out there.
So this is, I take this thing everywhere. My goal is to try to travel with it across the United States.
Okay.
Because our troops are everywhere. So to bring this to them and let them be a part of it is something that I look forward to in the future.
Now, I had asked you something down at Ocean City, and your answer was actually very interesting. So we were talking about you wanted to have it signed front to back, every inch of the car at some point, have signatures on it. And I asked how many signatures you currently had. And you basically said that's not something you want to keep track of.
No, that's, if you look back in history, Vietnam they were drafted, and they were drafted as a number. So for me, putting a number to the signatures is treating them just as they were treated back then, and that's something I just can't. I can't do that.
Gotcha.
So
which made it, when you told me that, it made absolutely, because I'd be curious to see how many autographs you'd get on, and then you told me that, I'm like, that actually makes perfect sense.
So it's not something I want to put a number to it. This is for them.
The goal is just to get, and you told me active veteran, even people who aren't in the military who are signed up and going to be deploying or going to be signing up.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people that have signed the car, and they are getting ready to deploy in December of this year.
Okay.
So, this is something for them as well.
And you said you have all the branches covered at this point?
Yep, I've got all 6 branches covered.
Okay.
From the Army to the Space Force.
The Space Force. I saw the Space Force inside. That was cool. Yeah, I didn't even think about that till I saw you did that. Now, what do you know? Like what your oldest signature is, or how?
I have a few signatures on here from the 50s.
Okay.
I did get to meet a World War II vet. But unfortunately, he passed, and I didn't get the car back up to him. So,
Okay.
But I am in contact with his daughter, and she's going to put a little package together for me.
Okay.
So I can represent him, when I go to a show.
Now, how do you approach that? I mean, do you have signs up at shows just saying what the car's for, and just try to get veterans to start talking to you to get them to sign it, or do you plan to be at different places? How's that work?
Well, I had a poster board made up for the car. A friend of mine that had made it, her name is Leanne. She's done all the vinyl on the car.
Okay.
So this is all her work. So, she made me a poster board up that when I go to shows, and it shows that the car is dedicated to the troops. And there's a spot on the car if you'd like to sign, to have you sign.
Okay. Have you ever had anybody not want to that you've asked to sign it?
I've had quite a few individuals that have not wanted. I don't make anybody sign that don't feel comfortable. A lot of Gold Star parents, because it's for them, and their children are no longer here. But it's a great way to honor their kids. I actually have a dog tag that I received from a parent.
Okay.
That her son lost his life in a senseless act. So she actually gave me his dog tag, and that sits in the car 24/7.
Okay.
So usually when I go into an event, I give the dog tag a little rub, and I ask him if he's ready to go for a ride.
Very, very cool. Well, Rob, thank you for bringing it out. It's great what you're doing. If you are military, you see Rob at an event, definitely check this car out. Sign anywhere you'd like.
Yep.
Under the hood, we'll show you some of the signatures. They're all over the place. But again, great car, great thing you're doing. Thank you again for bringing it out.
Thank you.